A couple relocated from London to an old flat in Edinburgh. The 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home looked charming and well-maintained at first sight, but unexplainable supernatural events began to happen immediately after they moved in. The husband had never believed in ghosts or paranormal activity. One morning, he came to his wife extremely shaken. He told her he had seen a demonic figure standing in the mirror opposite their bed. He could not bring himself to describe the creature in detail, but the sight left him terrified. Soon after, more strange occurrences began plaguing the household. Late one night, he witnessed a dark, shadowy figure standing silently in the hallway. On another night, he was frozen in bed, pinned by an invisible weight on his chest. A demon-like entity appeared to sit on top of him, leaving him completely immobile. He had never experienced sleep paralysis or any supernatural encounter before, confirming that something was wrong with the flat itself. The wife, a history researcher, decided to investigate the property's background to find answers. She discovered the apartment was originally a private merchant house built in the late 1700s. Most unsettling of all, the entire building stood on Ballas Hill, a historic execution ground where hundreds of people were hanged and executed centuries prior. Shortly after her discovery, their family dog began suffering sudden, violent health crises with no logical explanation. One day, the couple returned home to find the floor covered in blood. Their dog was lying helpless on the ground, gasping and bleeding heavily from its rear. They rushed the pet to the vet, yet medical examinations found no possible cause for the sudden hemorrhage. The dog's diet, routine, and living environment had not changed at all. After treatment, the dog recovered and remained healthy for 4 months. On the couple's wedding anniversary, they returned home briefly before their celebration, only to find the hallway soaked in blood once again. Their dog was suffering the same life-threatening bleeding. Another visit to the vet yielded absolutely no medical explanation for the recurring condition. Following the dog's second near-death incident, the wife began to develop severe, mysterious symptoms. She suffered constant exhaustion, severe dizziness, and frequent depersonalization. She felt detached from her own body, as if she was watching herself from outside. Her condition deteriorated rapidly, and there were days when she could not rise from bed. During a renovation of the apartment directly above theirs, the couple spoke with a local handyman. Without any prompting, he questioned how they could endure living in the flat for so long. He explained that his assistant had once stayed overnight in their vacant flat during previous renovations. The assistant fled screaming in terror after the first night and refused to ever return. The handyman also revealed the flat's brutal hidden history. In the 1980s, a deadly dispute occurred inside the unit. During a violent fight, one man pushed another out of the window, killing him instantly. Over the decades, multiple violent deaths and murders had taken place inside the apartment. The wife's illness grew drastically worse, leading to a 1-week hospital stay. Doctors performed extensive tests but could not identify any physical cause for her critical symptoms. Simple movements, such as sitting up, would trigger severe cardiac distress. Medical staff could only prescribe medication to temporarily manage her unknown condition. After returning to the flat to recover, she experienced another bizarre and terrifying symptom. At 32 years old, she had never suffered a nosebleed in her life. Mid-conversation with her husband, her nose suddenly began bleeding heavily with no injury, no dry air, and no illness to explain it. These spontaneous nosebleeds continued happening randomly throughout their remaining stay. Between the husband's demonic sightings and paranormal oppression, the dog's unexplained life-threatening bleeding, and the wife's mysterious illness and sudden hemorrhages, the couple could no longer endure the residence. They moved out after living in the haunted flat for less than a year. For years, the wife tried to bury the traumatic memories. Recently, after a haunting recurring dream, she checked the local real estate website and discovered the cursed, murder-infested flat was once again back on the rental market, waiting for new occupants.